I think this'll work.
Good! Your lease starts in September.
September what? Having a surplus of free time again, I got back into a part of my anime roots I feel I've neglected since college. Reading manga. As I've been getting back into American comics, I've really been neglecting my manga roots. And it's embarrassing to admit it, but between papers, I've been more willing to rot my brain on the bright colors and motions of anime than to just sit down with a good old manga book. Still, there are some series that I'm hopelessly devoted to. One of them ended very recently, and that title was Hellsing. Hellsing is an incredibly violent and extremely stylized manga series by the detail-oriented but incredibly slow-working Kota Hirano. And if you're wondering what I mean by slow, he started this series in 1997 and didn't finish a mere 10 books until 2008. Keeping this in mind, even if the series came out once per month, there were only 89 chapters, so it only should have taken 7.5 years for it to be released. Heck, he could at least put out something every month. If I went more than 2 months without an update, I'd be on my regular summer schedule. With so much delay, there's got to be something that keeps people coming back. For this series, it's the unique, extraordinarily detailed, and yet super stylized art, legitimately insane ultraviolence, and a surprisingly well thought out and sympathetic cast in an otherwise really shallow plot. You would know shallow, wouldn't you? Sweet Haruhi! Your god won't save you. Wait, why exactly do you want to kill me? Aren't you a Nazi? No, I just made a lot of Hitler jokes last season. Ah, that would explain the confusion. Can I review your book now? Continue. Hellsing follows the story of Alucard, a powerful and prideful vampire in the service of the Protestant Knights Hellsing out of England. Under the orders of Sir Integra Hellsing, and with the help of his occasionally brutal but usually well-meaning ward Cerys Victoria, Alucard hunts the Knight and protects England from paranormal threats, all the while occasionally bumping heads with the rival Iscariot order out of the Catholic Church. But the playing field is drastically changed when a new threat arises from an old enemy. Vampiric Nazis. No, I am not kidding. Vampiric Nazis are the main villains of the Hellsing manga. As the director of the English version of the Hellsing anime, Taliesin Jaffe, put it, there's a real negative connotation with the idea of campiness in film these days, which is really too bad because that's what Hellsing excels at, being campy. Campy, we automatically think of things that are just too cheesy to take seriously, like Adam West's Batman, but we don't think of the other things that really are campy, like per se, Indiana Jones and Inglourious Bastards. I bring them up because, well, they take joy in the same thing that this book takes joy in. Killing Nazis. The violence actually works though, because there are characters that we actually care about in the story, so we have some emotional investment in who wins and who loses. Now, on the other hand, if you're looking for the story to make a whole lot of sense, you've probably come to the wrong place, but that's okay, this is camp. We're here to have fun, not to think too much. If you put more than 2 seconds thought into the story, you might start thinking things like, if Alucard's gun shoots bullets made from a melted down silver cross, shouldn't he shoot less? I mean, wow! How big was that cross? Where does Anderson keep all those bayonets? In Dracula, wasn't Von Helsing German? So, why is Integra in England? Also, wasn't he a devout Catholic? So, why is she so anti-Catholic? And, of course, you think the Major ever hung out with the Red Skull, or those Nazis from the Full Metal Alchemist movie? What Hellsing did, though, it did well, especially when it came to keeping the intensity up. The intensity really reached its high point Book 4 onward, as the entire story takes place over the course of one night during the Nazis' big invasion of London. It's an absolute bloodbath and very entertaining to page through. It was actually a little off-putting when you get to the last book and things finally start getting down key. I mean, winding down is kind of expected in the last book, but it was still kind of a shock to the system. And more so, I might just be disappointed that another favorite manga of mine has ended. I do, however, still have the Hellsing Ultimate OVAs to look forward to, which are a pretty loving frame-by-frame manga adaptation to anime that's been coming out fairly recently. I may have to wait a while, though, because volumes 5 through 7 aren't going to be released in the US until next year. And this is one of those rare series where I not only prefer the English cast, but I really don't like the Japanese cast. I've loved Joji Nakata in other series, but I really don't think he knows how to play Alucard properly. There is also a 13-episode anime known as Hellsing, which I do not recommend at all, mostly because it takes itself way too seriously. All those campy factors that I mentioned before are not there, and the characters are just generally unlikable. Ceres, for example, is a comedy relief character at the first section of the manga, but this anime treats her completely emo and makes her really annoying to watch. The series began production before the second book of the manga was even completed, so the Nazis don't even appear in the story. Also, the visuals are unimpressive at best. In an odd attempt to make it look like there's London fog everywhere, instead every scene just looks like there's a lot of dust on the film, and it's all grainy and not very appealing to look at. Along with the fact that the character designs don't look like anything Hirano draws at all. If there's anything good I can say about the old series, it had a great soundtrack, but you could always just buy those and not have to look at the bad animation and deal with self-hating camp. Still, over the top and overly fun, I have to recommend the other two Hellsings as must-sees and must-reads. Starting off the season on a high note from Fifth Avenue Studios, this is Nick Izumi saying, keep on spocking in the free world. Crap, damn, I had an entire episode about vampires and I didn't make a single Twilight joke. Bella, I... Crap, damn it.